And how would you define street art in your words?
My name is Jessica Koyman Parker. I am the curator of visual arts here at the Dairy Art Center. Street art is really anything kind of on the street or in public areas in some sense. Some public area art is more of a fine art sculptural stuff, but street art is really anything you can find in the street, and that's everything from a tiny little domino in a bush that someone painted to large scale murals that take over entire buildings. I think that all kind of encompasses street art. But we're never going to get away from people spray painting penises and curse words and stuff, like that's just going to happen. And not that I think that's great, but
I'm Terry Seidel. This is Seidel City.
I am Kelly Eisworth. I assist at Seidel City.
Started off as kind of a joke, but it's becoming quite a real thing recently. So yes, I'm Terry Seidel. I'm the mayor of Seidel City. Started off just because I've been here carving stone for about 20 years. This used to be a foundry, so it has really good bones to it. They actually would pour waxes and had a showroom, and they would pour bronzes out in our tin shed. And it was a real viable working foundry, and then it became just a group of artists out here. There's 5 units, and it was filled over the years with various artists and woodworkers and metalsmiths, and in the last couple of years, through people exiting, we've acquired these spaces and have adapted them to music, to fine art, to street art, and it's just still growing as we speak, as we're just currently adding a photography studio.
Wheat tasting, comes off, it's just flour, water, and sugar, and sprays right off. It's very ephemeral and kind of shorter term and stuff. So, and it's more used, like police and public see it as more beautification, like wall street art.
I think it's where it all begins, is the street art, which history has proven with the Keith Harings and the different street artists, of New York City who went on to then be recognized as fine art. So it's a good beginning. We need more of it. It's easy, it's free.
Street art is in a way, bringing art into a community, right? And like not separating it off into this space that is removed from the community and the context that it comes from. It encourages people to interact and be present in the place that they are in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Street art also historically has been a way for artists or groups of people who are not necessarily have the opportunities afforded to them to be shown in these more formal settings.
We have behind me is a wheat paste project we did with it was a project called Indigenize Your Eyes, and it was some local Native American peoples that wanted to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. And they went through an international street artist named JR. He created what's called the Inside Out Project, and it's basically anyone can submit their photos to him, and he will, create this background and size and print it out and put it out there for people to wheat paste.
Like people of color, like artists that are working in other kinds of alternative materials, like graffiti or whatever, to still have a space to express themselves. And I think that not only applies to art that is, wheat pasted or spray painted on a wall, but even just like before that was art, by whoever it is that decides what is art, it was still existing in these public ways. So I think in a lot of ways, public art is a way of empowering yourself and working outside of the institution.
Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time.
Digit inflation can't take the train to the job. There's a strike at the station. Me on King Kong standing on my back.